Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Skeleton Key Tarot, and today we're doing something a little different. We're doing a Bibliomancy reading for everybody, for the collective. General message for the collective. Today we're using the Creative Act, A Way of Being by producer Rick Rubin. This is the best book for Bibliomancy that I've ever owned. Or used rather. And this here you can see giant symbol for the sun for gold right on the cover. So we're going to get some really good enlightening messages today. So stay tuned for that. We're also going to use the Wild Unknown Tarot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle the deck. I'm going to draw a card like this. I'm going to open up the book a little bit like this, and I'm going to put it inside. I'm going to do that 3 times. Okay, so that's message number 1. All right, message number 2 and message number 3. And we will relate the cards to the messages as they apply. And so at the bottom of the deck, we do have the 5 of Cups. This is dealing with grief and loss and acceptance. So these may be messages related to suffering, especially when it comes to a relationship or a hard choice that we have to make. And I've also got the 5 of Wands here. So it's conflict. It feels like the energy is scattered, unfocused, and suffering on the inside. It's like your energy is being pulled in multiple directions, and you have to make a decision, and it's a difficult decision to make. It also tells us that something did not live up to our expectations. Maybe we're not living up to our own expectations, or it has to do with this romantic love relationship here in the middle. Okay, so I'm getting the strong feeling here that we're talking to a part of our collective that is having a pretty bad day or a hard time. And so these will hopefully be some more uplifting messages to help us to come to a place of acceptance, to come to a place of wholeness, fulfillment, and focus on what really matters the most. Yep, look at that, 555. Do you see the 5 of Pentacles? This is worry, anxiety. This is a difficult moment for whoever I'm connecting to, whoever finds that this resonates. 555. All right, let's begin the Bibliomancy. Yeah, there's a lot of dark brooding here. It's like a focus on what didn't work out, what's not going right, where things are lacking. You may feel like you're lacking in love, you're lacking in money or goals or a focus in your life. And it's suffering, you know, and so we're here to help. Let's see what we can do to help today. We've got the first card is awareness with the 9 of Pentacles. This is beautiful. The 9 of Pentacles is like a happy home and stability. It's like financial independence and feeling really good about yourself and where you're at in your life. So in conjunction with the 9 of Pentacles, which is Venus and Virgo, we have awareness. In most of our daily activities, we choose the agenda and develop a strategy to achieve the goal at hand. We create the program. Let me read that again because I did sort of stumble a little bit. In most of our daily activities, we choose the agenda and develop a strategy to achieve the goal at hand. We create the program. Awareness moves differently. The program is happening around us. The world is the doer and we are the witness. We have little or no control over the content. The gift of awareness allows us to notice what's going on around and inside of ourselves at the present moment, and to do so without attachment or involvement. We may observe bodily sensations, passing thoughts and feelings, sounds or visual cues, smells and tastes. So, this 9 of Pentacles, with this awareness message is telling me that this is a very meditative time for you. This is Virgo energy, it's Hermit energy, and it's Venus in Virgo. It's very gentle. It's enjoying your time alone. It's using your free time, the luxury of free time, to spend time in meditation. So this could be a luxury for some of us. Maybe it's hard to find the time to just be in awareness, but maybe it's like, maybe we don't have to have a dedicated time and place to practice this meditative awareness. Maybe we can integrate meditative awareness into our day-to-day, regardless of what's going on. Awareness moves differently. The program is happening around us. The world is the doer and we are the witness. We have little or no control over the content. Yeah. The gift of awareness allows us to notice what's going on around and inside ourselves in the present moment, and to do so without attachment or involvement. Observing bodily sensations, passing thoughts and feelings, sounds or visual cues, smells and tastes. I think the key here, with regards to the Nine of Pentacles, Virgo, Hermit type energy, is doing so without attachment or involvement. Perhaps as we're dealing with these 555 energies here with regards to this lover, as we're dealing with this sense of loss, sense of lack, sense of suffering and scattered energy, perhaps the message here, the advice here for the first message is to do so, to have awareness, to be aware of what's going on around us and inside of us without becoming attached or involved. Withdrawing and simply looking at it from an independent standpoint, like the High Priestess. It's about non-action, not getting involved, not getting attached, not being attached. Maybe the suffering comes from attachment. That's what the Buddhists tend to say, right? Buddhists believe that suffering comes from attachment. So perhaps we gain in a situation, we will gain happiness or well-being or fulfillment, or Nine of Pentacles comes to us, this independence, right? We gain this through non-action, through unattachment or uninvolvement, and just simply observing how we feel, allowing our thoughts and feelings to pass, observing sounds and visual cues, smells and tastes, being aware. Yeah, practicing awareness, self-awareness. Okay, I want to read from the Wild Unknown Guidebook for the Nine of Pentacles, because this is a bibliomancy reading. I feel like reading from the book is good. Happy, healthy home. This is always a welcome card, the Nine of Pentacles. It's a time to enjoy the many results of your loyalty and your hard work. This may be a promotion at work or a newfound stability and happiness at home. It's even possible you'll find yourself enjoying the finer things in life, as luxury and refinement oftentimes accompany this card. Okay, that's the message for message number one. It's not really a pick a card, it's like for everybody. So I'm going to put this here. Let's get number two. Number two. Okay. Let me see. Right, so this is the moon. We have the moon card, which is mystery and supernatural and paranormal and subconscious and astral plane and everything to do with that strange shadow realm beyond the known world. It is the known unknown. It is the unknown unknown, if you know what I mean. Which I don't, so you probably don't either. So it's the moon. Hidden secrets, mysteries. Perhaps we keep our feelings to ourselves. Perhaps our feelings have mysterious origins or are related to secrets. This is going on behind the scenes. For some of us, it's like We are feeling this 555 energy. We are suffering. We're scatterbrained. Our energy is going in many different directions without a clear focus, and it's painful. And it's like we're grieving something that didn't turn out the way that we wanted it to. And there's a lack here. We feel left out in the cold. We feel like we don't have what we need, whether it's money, love, or like a goal in life, you know, a direction. We have this difficult choice to make here with the Lovers, or we are dealing with a partnership and it's just not working out or whatever. And it could be related to secrets, mysteries, a lack of trust, not being able to see something clearly, having to have faith in the path that we're following without actually having knowledge, right? Faith without knowledge. So I opened up to this page here, and what's drawing my attention is this list. Can you see the list? So I want to read this list of 10 items, and it looks like, so this is about, let's just read from the first full sentence. This culling can keep, this culling, okay, so specific, the most obvious solutions may not be available. Yeah, we'll start from the beginning of this page and read through the list to about there, all right? The most obvious solutions may not be available. This culling can give, it can help give new work its character and set it apart from past efforts. Like culling something is, I'm like, okay, it's like deleting something. It's like cutting something out can help give new work its character and set it apart from past efforts with potential for groundbreaking results. Novel problems lead to original solutions. So it's like new problems lead to original solutions. Georges Perec wrote an entire book without using the most common letter of the French alphabet, the letter E. It went on to become one of the most celebrated experimental works in modern literature. The painter Yves Klein decided to limit his palette to one color. This led him to discover a shade of blue no one had ever seen before. The shade itself was seen by many as effectively becoming the art and was later named International Klein Blue. The director Lars von Trier came up with 10 rules. Dogma number 95, the vow of chastity, designed to reduce the artificiality of filmmaking. They are as follows. 1. Shooting must be performed on location without providing props or sets that don't logically exist within that setting. 2. Diegetic sound only. Sounds must never be produced, such as music that does not exist within the scene. 3. All shots must be handheld. Movement, immobility, and stability must be attained by hand. 4. The film must be in color with no special lighting. If there's not enough exposure, a single lamp may be attached to the camera. 5. There can be no optical work or lens filters. 6. No superficial action, such as staged murders, elaborate stunts, etc. 7. Geographical alienation is strictly forbidden, meaning the film must take place here and now. 8. No genre movies. 9. Academy 35mm is the only accepted film format. 10. Directors must not be credited. This is so strange. It's like coming up with some strict rules, cutting certain things out, and developing a very narrow focus to get a very particular set of results. Novel problems lead to original solutions. Some of the things that stood out to me the most is things that, shooting must be performed on location without providing props or sets that don't logically exist within the setting. So it's like everything exists within the setting. It's logical, right? Attained by hand. Everything's very organic. Nothing superficial. No, lenses or filters. No filter. Here and now. And almost like a selflessness. This is very Piscean, this whole director's not being credited thing. Experimental works, doing something very differently in order to come up with a very original result. How does this relate to the 555 moon card? It's almost as if obvious solutions, like the first thing said, obvious solutions may not be available. So the solution is not obvious. The solution is the moon card. Just like the solution here, okay, the 9 of Pentacles is a kind of solution too, is an outcome. I feel like the 9 of Pentacles is like a completion, it's an outcome. By the way, 9 and 18, 9 times 2 is 18, 8 plus 1 is 9, so that's important. Okay. Reducing artificiality, making something more real, being more authentic, novel problems leading to original solutions. Obvious solutions are not available, so you have a new problem here. The solution is not obvious, and so you come up with something original. It's like you're being challenged to bring something up from the subconscious that is never been seen before, and you don't know what it is. And so you've got to meditate on this. And with that practice of awareness that we were talking about in message number 1, perhaps it gives it time and space to come up, to bubble up from underneath. Limiting your palette to one color, focusing on one thing at a time. Cutting certain things out and working within a strict set of limitations. Which the limitations may seem artificial, but they're specifically designed to enhance authenticity. In fact, you're cutting out artificiality, enhancing authenticity, which then leads to an original solution. I'm going to let this resonate for you however you want to take it. If it's your message, if not, maybe somebody else will find something in it. Because the challenge here, the 555 represents a challenge. It's a very challenging decision or a challenging relationship. And so the solution to the challenge may not be obvious, and the most obvious solution may not be available. And so you're being challenged to find an original solution to this problem. And it may involve cutting certain things out, putting some limits on things and focusing, and maybe putting some guardrails and really focusing on just the essential aspect of what it is that you're trying to do. What is it you're trying to do, right? What can you delete or remove from this in order to get down to the basics or enhance your sense of creative purpose, awareness. And let's read from the book. Let's read the moon card from the major arcana. Let's see, because this could give us a little closure on what we're trying to say. I feel like we're almost there. It represents vivid dreams and fears. In many ways, the moon card encompasses the idea of the wild unknown. It is the shadow realm. It is the place where dreams, fears, and mysteries are born. Much darkness can linger here, and if you aren't careful, this can lead to periods of anxiety and self-doubt. That's what this 555 is all about. We're in this darkness, we're in this fear, we're in this dark night of the soul. We're being challenged to deal with this dark energy of the fives. Okay, it's anxiety, self-doubt, almost as though you've lost your way in a house of mirrors. Many great artists have roamed this inner landscape. It's where imagination and creativity drift freely upon the midnight air. It's interesting that it mentions artists, because what we were just reading from here was talking about 3 different artists and the way that they approached the challenge of their work in order to get a very original result, an original solution to a new or novel project or problem. And so tapping into that imagination and creativity of that inner landscape helps you to bring about an original solution to a novel problem when the obvious solution may not be available. Okay, that feels like the message. Now we've got one more. Let me see the clock. 1950, 1950. 15. Yeah, there's that number 15 is 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, that's the devil. 1 plus 5 is 6. That's the lovers. We're on to something here. I do feel it. You know, there may be some imperfections in the way that we deliver the message, but it's the essence of the message that really matters. Okay, so let's get the last message here. We've got the Magician in reverse, which I don't read reversals, so I'm just going to flip it upright. We notice that it is in reverse, but we just flip it upright, okay? Let's see. What have we got here? All right, so I'm immediately drawn to this part here. Let's just read from where I'm drawn to. But now I'm drawn to the top as well. All right, let's just read it. All of these elements affect the perception of the work. The magician has all of these tools. The magician is an artist. The magician is an expert. I just heard an engineer, a producer, okay? Some artists choose to control all these factors thoroughly. Others leave them to chance. And some create art that is completely context dependent. Andy Warhol's Brillo boxes, for example. In a grocery store, they're disposable packaging for useful kitchen items. In a museum, they're rare objects of fascination and intrigue. When sequencing a collection of songs, placing a quiet one next to a loud one affects the way a listener hears them both. After the quiet song, the loud one seems more bombastic. One musician, I'm told, would add his newest track to a playlist along with the most beloved songs of all time to see if his work stood up in this context. If not, he would set it aside and keep working towards greatness. The social norms of any time and place are another contextual box that art lives in. The same story of a relationship between two people could play out in Detroit or in Bali, in ancient Rome, or in a different dimension. In each case, the story may take on new meaning. Publish the work one particular year as opposed to another, and the meaning can change again. Current events, cultural trends, other works released concurrently all affect a project's reception. Time is another form of context. When a piece isn't living up to your expectations, consider changing the context. Look past the principal element, examine the variables around it. Play with different combinations. Place it next to other works. Surprise yourself. A few common options are soft, loud, fast and slow, high and low, close and far, bright and dark, large and small, curved and straight, rough and smooth, before and after, inside and outside, same and different. A new context may create a work more powerful than the one you anticipated. Yes, one you never could have imagined before changing one seemingly inconsequential element. I think that's the most important thing. Let's read the most important part. When a relationship, a situation, when yourself, when your work isn't living up to your expectations, consider changing the context. Okay? Look past the principal element and examine the variables. Examine the context of this relationship. What's going on around it? What's going on around the relationship, around your whatever it is that's causing you, around the challenge, right? Around your 555 energy. A new context may create something more powerful than you anticipated. Something you never could have imagined before changing one seemingly inconsequential element. So, Is there one thing that you could change that could create a new context, right? Changing one inconsequential element, giving this a new context, a new framework for understanding, examining the variables around it and just changing like one or two little things could have a profound, powerful impact on the situation in general. Can you think of anything like that? That's powerful. And here's the Magician. So I'm going to read for the Magician. Self-empowerment and action. The Magician is a card of boundless, expansive energy. Whereas many of the major arcana deal with stillness or aspects of the mind, this card is all about action, action, action. It's time to see yourself as the wildcat. Embrace his speed, his grace, and abilities. Don't be afraid to begin. You have the power of all four elements within your reach. Now is the time to use them. Let's read for the... Okay, wait. So I feel like the Nine of Pentacles is all about that awareness, that quiet awareness, that stillness and non-action. And then we've got the Moon card, which is all about going within and really experiencing that shadow realm where dreams are made and, you know, exploring even that astral realm or that place where creativity is found. Like, where do you get your ideas? Where do they come from? Something deep inside. And it was related to finding a new solution, perhaps one that you don't know about right now, finding a new solution. Using your quiet awareness, right? I'm going to bring it all together. Using your quiet awareness, independent awareness, spending time alone and enjoying it, but also meditation and just finding that stillness within in order to tap into that subconscious realm and find a new solution to an original problem, an original solution to a new problem because the obvious solution is not available to you. And then taking action on it, using all of your self-empowered tools, using that new awareness, using that focus, using that energy. Now is the time to take action. Okay, and let's look at the Lovers real quick. Union, desire, and joy. Two Canadian geese are mates for life, traveling partners with an expansive sky. The Lover's card is a welcome sight in any reading, as it suggests a beautiful and strong relationship is on the horizon. Yes, you will experience all the thrills of desire and romance, but meanwhile you'll be building a solid foundation together. The lovers honor and respect each other, and with that they can go anywhere. If you're already in a relationship, it's time to be grateful and nourish this rare and precious gem. So this Lover's card represents a beautiful relationship. And this may be what you feel is lacking in your life. This may be the challenge here with the 555. The scattered energy going in many directions and feeling like you're suffering within. The worry, the anxiety, the heaviness. The need to spend some time in meditation and visualization. And this negative expectations or expectations that were not fulfilled. And how this leads to this grieving and suffering and the need for some kind of acceptance process in the long run. Okay, this is our challenge. How do we deal with anxiety? How do we regain focus after our energies has been scattered? How do we come to a place of acceptance and wholeness when things have not lived up to what we need, when we don't have what we need? Okay? So I believe this is related to relationships that have not turned out the way that we needed them to, that are not living up to our expectations, that are giving us a lot of anxiety, and it feels like our energy is being wasted. It's going nowhere. It's a dead end maybe, or it's just a challenging relationship situation. This feels like it's advice. Awareness, practicing stillness within, practicing meditation, visualization, and detached awareness as a meditative practice, being the foundation here for our growth, to find that space within where we can come up with original solutions to new problems when the obvious solution is not available to us. And then when we've done that, when we've practiced our stillness within, when we've found the original solution, that's when we are empowered and we can take action based on what we have discovered underneath the surface when we put something into a new context. And we can maybe change just one or two variables, one or two contextual variables around the relationship, around the situation, or around ourselves. And changing one or two things leads to self-empowerment and the ability to take action for the best and highest good with free will and, with self-empowerment at the center here. Does that make sense? Yeah, because we feel powerless in the fives here. The Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups. It basically feels powerless. We can't make a change. We don't have what we need. We don't know what to do. And we're suffering. We have decisions to make. We want a relationship. We don't have a good relationship with whoever we're with, or we're alone and we don't have a relationship at all. We're not happy in our current relationship, or we are not happy being alone. And so what this is telling us is that the solutions may be found in places that we did not originally expect, in places where we might find original solutions to these problems in unexpected places, and it will empower us to act in ways independently for the best and highest good in a way that may not even be, it may not need to be a big drastic change. We just need to put this in a new context, or put ourselves in a new context, or see this in a new way by just changing one or two little things. Does that make sense? I feel like that's the message. It's like, what can we change? What do we have an influence over? Well, we can change our own awareness just by being still. If we're scattered and we're going all over the place and we're every different direction, can we find that stillness within to detach and just observe? Just observe. Non-action, very high priestess, right? Very empress, high priestess. Just observe and allow for a new solution to come up through that mysterious unknown space where creativity is born. And then we will be empowered to take action, to make good choices, and to change, just like I said, one or two little things about the context, about these variables, which will give us, perhaps, very surprising results. Okay. That's the reading for today. This has been a collective reading, a general reading, Bibliomancy. I felt called to do something different. Maybe it's this full moon. Maybe it's this Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus conjunction in alignment with this full moon that's happened in Scorpio, right? There's just been this really powerful, transformative energy. I've been feeling it really strongly these last couple of nights. The full moon has kept me up. I've been wide awake all night, last night and the night before. And I even went out. I live in the forest, and I went out into the forest at like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning for a walk. And I saw some interesting lights in the sky. And it was a very personal experience to me with that moon card being here. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of introspection in this reading today, looking for the solutions within ourselves for the sake of our own self-empowerment to change the way that we approach this problem. Perhaps that's where our power comes from, is the way that we conduct ourselves. Like, we can't control what's going on in the world. And what's going on in the world is probably going to influence what we do. Like, it's going to influence our perception of things, right? Like the work we're doing. We put it into context and it sounds differently. It looks different in different contexts. But what if we took that same situation and put it in a different context? It would look completely different. So if we just change a couple of little things, I don't know, maybe this changes the outcome, right? So there's something about that here. It's mysterious how these things work. So observe the mystery. Yeah. Observe the mystery without attachment and without involvement. Find a creative solution that it may be unexpected. Yeah, observing with awareness. Yeah. Without attachment, without becoming involved, just being aware and observing may help us find a new solution to this problem that may not be obvious. And we'll be able to see things in a different way, in a different context, and be able to change maybe just one or two things that's going to change the entire outlook of this situation. That's the message. Okay, I know I've repeated myself. I just like to make sure I got it clear, articulating it as best as I can, and I got it right. There's that 8 of Pentacles. Interesting. Working on it. We're working. It's the spider spirit. Should I read for the 8 of Pentacles just as a... Okay, that's our closing message. That'll be the closing message, the 8 of Pentacles. I love that. Okay, craftsmanship and skill. The spider is a true master of her craft. She weaves against all odds with skill, intricacy, and confidence. The 8 of Pentacles requires a similar approach. Hone your skills. You are close to finding mastery at your craft, so strive for it. Pay attention to all the details. In some cases, this card means you need to find a new hobby, something you truly enjoy. Start a project and become good at it. Okay, we're going to just put this over here because it's kind of a side thing. This is the main message. But yeah, honing our skills with intricacy and confidence, maybe starting a new project and getting really good at it. I love that spider. Okay, that's what I've got for us today. This is a collective message. I feel like I'm involved in it too. This is for everybody. So if this resonated with you, if it applies to your situation, if it was helpful for you, let me know in the comments. I love to hear your feedback. I really do. Even if it's negative, I really appreciate it. But that's what I've got. So if you'd like a personal reading with more personal details, whether it's related to this or anything else that's going on, you can email me. My email should be in the description box below. I've got 3 different options available. I'll let you know how it works. You let me know what you need. But in any case, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? Bye.